Welcome back to the Grant Center here in Danville, Virginia on the campus of Averett University. It's USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament here on the Averett Sports Network. We want to thank the USA South for streaming this live on their YouTube channel. My name is Matt Romanowski. I'll bring you play-by-play with my color commentator, Austin Scher. Austin, it is a pleasure, and I know it is an honor for you, as it is for me, to be broadcasting on the conference tournament stage. Brighter lights for us, not really used to a tournament to cover. It's a really exciting environment here, and you know, a great environment for some great games. We just saw a game between Piedmont and Maryville to start it off, and an exciting game. And you know, congratulations to both teams, to Maryville for winning the game and advancing to tomorrow, and congratulations to Piedmont, especially their seniors, on having a great year, and you know, nothing to hang their heads about.
Absolutely not, Matt. And that was just one of 4 terrific games to come today. One of 7 terrific games to come this weekend, and we talked about it down the stretch of the regular season. Also mentioned it live during that Piedmont-Maryville game. I have never seen a conference at any level of basketball, men's or women's, that is this jam-packed together. 3-way tie for first, a 4-way tie for the second best record in the league. And these two teams both had legitimate chances to win the regular season championship, not a share, but outright. And they both kind of floundered down the stretch a little bit. Methodist played a terrific game at Greensboro that really jump-started their backstretch of the season. Greensboro was terrific for the middle third of the season. Had a tough final stretch, losing 5 of their last 8 games, but to close out the regular season had a fantastic showing against Ferrum without their leading scorer and all-conference honorable mention, Cole Gatling, who is back tonight. And Matt, I'm sure we will get into this, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it right off the bat. I think the winner of this game is going to win the tournament. I do not think there is a more potent combination of players than Jackson Whitley and Davion Iabarino for Methodist, and the 3-headed monster of Donovan Griffith, Cole Gatling, and Darius Maddox for Greensboro. Now, Averett has their own 1-2 punch that is deadly. 2 first-team all-conference players.
Correct.
However, I think that, and we've talked about it all season, the depth of these two teams that we are about to watch will carry them through to Saturday, where I am going to head and predict that Averett playing at home in this mammoth gym, home court advantage may come down to location more than fan atmosphere, but I do think it will be the winner of this game and the Averett Cougars facing off on Saturday for the Conference USA 2016-2017 championship.
Well, there is an opportunity for that to happen with Methodist and Greensboro playing the winner of that first game in Maryville. The winner of this game will play Maryville. And now the winner of that game will go to the conference championship. On the other side of the bracket is the Averett Covenant game, which is going to be played at 7 o'clock tonight, and the LaGrange-William Peace game that is going to be played at 5 o'clock following this game. So there is an opportunity that the winner of this game could go to the conference final and play against whoever comes out of that other side of the bracket, which the number 1 seed Averett playing at home. We've talked about there isn't a favorite to win the tournament because the conference is so close, but on paper, Averett would be the favorite coming out of the other side of the bracket. Now, to continue what you were talking about with Cole Gatling and all those guys, let's start with Greensboro first. Regular season record 14-10, 8-6 in that 4-way tie in that traffic jam of the final standings. Coming in with 12th year head coach Brian Goluski, also the athletic director at Greensboro College. 170 wins to 148 losses in his coaching career for the Pride. This team being led by number 12, Cole Gatling, 16.6 points per game, top 5 in the conference in conference scoring, so points per game in conference play. You also have Donovan Griffith, 15.8 points per game, 8.3 rebounds per game, a first-team all-conference player, and, not to mention both of those players shooting above 34% from the three-point line. Cole at 41% on the season, Donovan at 35%. And then you look at the freshman, Darius Maddox, number 22, 14.1 points per game. He is, all three of these guys are top 10 in conference points per game. And Darius won several Rookie of the Week honors and has been looked at as one of the premier upcoming players in the conference. And then you look at Lorenzo Mary, Dominic Funbanks, Chris Corbin, Cornelius Johnson, Hamilton Hawkins, Demetrius Tilley, Mateo Baggio, Javen Garrison. All of those guys play. This Greensboro team is deep, and we've talked about it for the majority of the season, and we've had the pleasure of talking to Coach Gillespie about it, that it is important at this point in the season especially. It's win or go home. The deepest team with the most production from not only their starters but their bench as well is going to be the best team in the postseason.
And it will be interesting to watch how this game is officiated. If these three officials let them play a little bit in this game, I think we're in for a very, very high-scoring, run-and-gun, barn-burner type game, solely based on the star power that we've talked about on both teams. However, if this game is called close and fouls are called early on guys like Lorenzo Mary and Donovan Griffith and Jackson Whitley, this game will come down to the bench play. Now, you talked specifically about three guys, Donovan Griffith, Cole Gatling, Darius Maddox. Through the USA South regular season, a grueling 14-game schedule where everybody's beating up on everybody. Cole Gatling, 5th in the league in scoring. Donovan Griffith, 7th. Darius Maddox, 12th. Rebounding, Griffith is 4th in the league in rebounding. Lorenzo Mary, 7th. Lorenzo Mary also 13th in field goal percentage. Donovan Griffith, 9th. Three-point field goal percentage, Cole Gatling, 8th in the league. Free throw percentage, Gatling, 2nd in the league. Darius Maddox, 8th in the league. Offensive rebounding, Lorenzo Mary, 2nd in the league in offensive rebounds. That will be huge tonight. Donovan Griffith, 2nd in the league in blocked shots. He is a 6'5" wing forward with 80-plus blocks on the season. Steals, Donovan Griffith, 8th. Darius Maddox, 9th. This is what the most shocking statistic of all. All of those players are top 12 in all of those categories that I just talked about. Minutes played. Darius Maddox, 47th in the league in minutes played. Lorenzo Mary, 39th. Cole Gatling, 19th. Donovan Griffith, 16th. None of them are in the top 15 in minutes played, but they are all repeated in the top 10 in different statistical categories. That is outstanding. Last note, before we start to talk about the Methodist Monarchs, Darius Maddox, the absolutely sensational freshman, is 1st in the conference in points per 40 minutes. We do not have access to plus-minus statistics. We don't have access to a kind of conglomerate player efficiency rating. Based off scoring per 40 minutes played, Darius Maddox 1st in the league at 25.4 points per game. Cole Gatling 5th in the league at 23.6 points per 40 minutes. Donovan Griffith 11th at 21.9 per 40. Now, this is where the wrench comes into the spokes. Davion Ayabarino, who is the leader of this Methodist team, 2nd in the conference in scoring per 40 minutes. Fractions behind Darius Maddox. This is going to be an exciting game. We've talked about Greensboro. Let's get into this Methodist team a little bit.
Methodist University Monarchs, located in Fayetteville, North Carolina. 15-10 overall on the season, 9-5 in the USA South, a part of that three-way tie and a share of the USA South regular season title. They are led by head coach David Smith in his 16th season, 198 wins, 222 losses at the helm for the Monarchs in his 16th year. They are led by, as you mentioned already, number 22, Davion Ayabarino. I'm trying to come up with a cool nickname, but it's Davion Ayabarino. He is averaging 20 points per game this season. He has scored 500 points on the year. That is
jaw-dropping.
That is almost 200 points more than any other player on the rest of the team. Jackson Whitley, 12.5 points per game, 9.8 rebounds per game. He scored 300 points this year. He's only a junior. And Iabarino is, also a junior. So two guys that will be back even next year. Ray Hall, number 23, the junior point guard from Patterson, New Jersey, 12.1 points per game, 303 points on the year for him. Brian Rouse, number 3, 6-foot junior guard from Greensboro, 11.3 points per game, and just that is balanced there. That is 4 guys in double figures, and Blake Davis is there next at 7.3. So a balanced attack, but primarily led by Davion Iabarino, who in the 2 games against Greensboro this year has scored 33 points in both. He has been magnificent. Yeah, he has been magnificent and is a first-team all-conference player and was second to Adrian Moore from North Carolina Wesleyan as the second leading scorer in the conference. And, we're going to be talking about him all evening, and it is a great matchup between 2 well-tenured coaches in the conference, in Coach Gillespie for Greensboro, Coach Smith for Methodist. 2 guys that have become friends over the years. Both have much respect for each other, and we have a great game in store. And I know that you have some awesome and amazing fun facts that nobody else can find except for you.
Well, I'll try. I'll try to come up with something fun. Now, we talked about Greensboro's depth. We listed, you go down the roster, everybody who's active, with the exception maybe of Torrance Lathan, will see playing time today. And if the bigs get into foul trouble, Lathan will also see minutes. Methodist is much more concentrated in their minutes played. They have 8 guys who see significant minutes. 7 of them have taken over 100 shots on the year. They are a high-powered offensive team that likes to spread the ball around, but, as you mentioned, led by 2 in Iabarino and Whitley, but Ray Hall is sort of the Darius Maddox of their big 3 if we're going to compare them to Greensboro. Now again, we did this with the Greensboro team. Let's talk a little bit about how these Methodist players stacked up against their conference individual opponents through the 14-game regular season. Davion Iabarino, you mentioned, second in points per game. Jackson Whitley, the giant presence down low, second in the conference in rebounds per game. Field goal percentage, both of them are in the top 6. Whitley at 3rd, Iabarino at 6th. Davion Iabarino also 6th from outside, from beyond the three-point line. Very, very consistent, very dangerous. Free throw percentage, Ray Hall right behind Cole Gatling. Gatling at 2nd in the league, Hall at 4th, Whitley 7, Iabarino 9. That's 3 guys in the top 10 in the league in free throw percentage. If this game comes down to fouls in the last 5 minutes, Greensboro is in trouble. Jackson Whitley 5th in the conference in offensive rebounds, 1st in blocks. Donovan Griffith only trailing him. Now, this is where an interesting 4th name gets brought into this conversation. Brian Rouse is 11th in the conference in steals. Only plays about 25 minutes a game. One of those guys that has taken over 250 shots on the season, but his impact will be felt on the defensive side of the ball. Now, we talk about points per 40 minutes played with those Greensboro, those 4 guys, with Dominic Funbanks being thrown in there at 8th, believe it or not, at a very low clip of minutes per game, 8th in the league in scoring per 40 minutes.
Wow.
The only person in the top 20 for this Methodist team is Davion Iabarino. The reason is because they have more guys that play bigger minutes. Greensboro's depth allows those guys to have productive minutes while they are on the court, whereas Methodist relies on these 8 guys to give them 95% of their minutes on the court. Now, you mentioned the 2 games against each other these 2 teams have played this season. Davion Iabarino has been unstoppable. Jackson Whitley, though, was the unsung hero of the 2nd game at Greensboro, the overtime win for Methodist. 23 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, all of them in the second half. And get this, 7 for 7 from the free throw line.
Those are big,
Jackson
coming
Whitley
from a big guy.
Is a huge player. He is a huge person. He's 6'9", and that might be taking an inch off of the top of his head if they don't count his hair. He is a big boy down low. He likes to dunk, he likes to block, he likes to post up, and he likes to make free throws. We're in for a treat with this game here.
I mean, there's nothing more we can say, but I'm sure we're going to say more. Just over 5 minutes away from game time here. We want to thank you for joining us once again on the Averett Sports Network, being streamed live here in the Grant Center on the campus of Averett University in Danville, Virginia, being brought to you by the YouTube channel of the USA South. We want to thank Sports Information Director from Averett University, Drew Wilson, for the opportunity to use his equipment and broadcast these first 2 games of the conference tournament. And we want to thank the USA South for carrying this broadcast. And we want to thank you, the listeners, for tuning in to us. My name is Matt Romanowski. I'm joined by Austin Scher. And like you just said, we are in for an absolute treat between 2 teams that have grown to really not like each other through the course of this season, as that first game at Methodist was a pride win by a score of 89-84. Then we just talked about the overtime loss where Methodist came in to Haynes Gym at Greensboro and defeated the Pride in overtime 92-90. It's going to be a high-scoring game. There's going to be dunks. There's going to be threes. There's going to be big blocked shots from these shot blockers and Donovan Griffith and Jackson Whitley. There's going to be coaches getting fired up with Coach Smith and Coach Galuski. I mean, there's going to be 2 knucklehead broadcasters that are going to be losing their minds the whole entire way. It's going to be an exciting, exciting game. And, I mean, I know you can speak the same. I just can't wait for it to get started.
I can't either.
These 4 minutes are going to take a very long time to tick down.
These 4 minutes are going to feel like about the same time as the entire game. Once we get started, I'm not going to want it to stop, but it's just going to move. And part of that is because these 2 teams are high-powered offenses. I mean, we look at how many points they score per game. Now, Greensboro in particular, before they went on that skid towards the end of the year, were averaging close to 88 points per game. That was first in the conference by far. They fell behind a little bit, now averaging just under 85 points a game, still second in the conference on the season. Methodist, 77 points per game, but you wouldn't guess it having seen them play against this Pride team, scoring an average of 91 points per game in the 2 matchups against Greensboro.
And they've scored over that average in their last 5 games, 92 against Greensboro, 79 against Ferrum. Oh, they did score less than that, 73 against William Peace. And William Peace being the highest scoring team in the conference. And, you know, they're going to play next after this game against LaGrange, which is going to be a season finale rematch. But, again, this Methodist team has the capability to score a lot of points, as does this Greensboro team. And, you know, it's credit to these coaching staffs. It's credit to the players and their fan bases. We're seeing the stands fill up a little bit here in the Grant Center with, you know, fans from not only Greensboro and Methodist, but still fans from Methodist or from Maryville, from Piedmont, and from LaGrange, and William Peace will start coming in here soon. And we have the always Averett faithful that are always lingering around the Grant Center. It is a great environment here, and we want to thank you again for joining us here on the Averett Sports Network USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament.
An incredible time to be alive, Matt.
And we have just over a minute left until we will get starting lineups. We will give you those starting lineups. First, for the 7-seeded Greensboro College Pride. At guard, a 5'8 senior from Salisbury, Maryland, number 10, Chris Corbin. At guard, a 6'4 junior from Columbia, South Carolina, number 12, Joseph Cole Gatling. At forward, a 6'5 senior from Greensboro, North Carolina, number 15, Donovan Griffith. At guard, a 6'1 senior from Orlando, Florida, number 24, Hamilton Hawkins. And the big man in the middle for Coach Galuski's Greensboro Pride is the 6'5 senior from Largo, Florida, number 30, Lorenzo Mary. We mentioned the Pride are coached by Brian Galuski. He is assisted by Jim Canamesa, Shakiris Moss, and Damian Dixon. The starting lineup for Coach Smith's Methodist Monarchs. At guard, a 6' junior from Greensboro, North Carolina, number 3, Brian Rouse. At guard, a 6' senior from High Point, North Carolina, number 10, Blake Davis. At forward, a 6'4 junior from Jacksonville, North Carolina, number 22, Davion Iabarino. At guard, a 6'1 junior from Patterson, New Jersey, number 23, Ray Hall. And the big tower in the middle for Coach Smith and the Monarchs, the 6'9 junior forward from Greensboro, North Carolina, number 52, Jackson Whitley. The Monarchs are coached by David Smith. He is assisted by Aloysius Henry. So we're going to take a short break and bring you the live action in just a moment here from the Grant Center on the Averett Sports Network. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us here. It's the USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament here at the Grant Center on the Averett Sports Network. We are at Averett University in Danville, Virginia. And thank you so much again for joining us. My name is Matt Romanowski. I am joined by my partner in crime, Austin Scher. Austin, it's here, man. We are getting ready for tip-off. It's the number 2 seeded Methodist Monarchs and the number 7 seeded Greensboro College Pride. In Game 2 of today's quarterfinal round, after Maryville with a convincing win late to defeat Piedmont. So Maryville sitting here watching this game. They will play the winner of this contest between Greensboro and Methodist. The Pride of Greensboro College sporting black road uniforms brought to you by Under Armour, digital camo shorts, green letters with the white trim. Methodist in their white Nike home uniforms with yellow and green trim. Jump it up in the middle, won by Whitley. Pass ahead from Hall, down low to Ayabarino on the low block. Ball swung around, open for 3. Rousey missed it. Rebound underneath. Ayabarino, yes.
And Donovan Griffith got a piece of that ball, but Ayabarino just too strong, too talented to not finish that close to the rim.
The Pride with a chance to even it here as it's 2-0 in favor of the Monarchs. Lorenzo Mary with 15 on the shot clock to Chris Corbin. Corbin puts it on the deck, drives in the lane. Moving around looking for Mary, had it poked away by Whitley, and here comes Brian Rouse. Rouse ahead, Ayabarino left side, had it blocked by Donovan Griffith.
And there's Griffith with the rejection.
Here comes Hamilton Hawkins for the Pride, left-handing all the way, right hand left side, lays it up and lays it in to even it up at 2.
2 seniors with terrific plays for the Pride there. The block on one end by Griffith, the finish on the other by Hawkins.
Monarchs with the basketball. 1 minute gone here in the first half. Blake Davis backs in on Cole Gatling. Now here's Jackson Whitley. Whitley kicks out Ray Hall. Hall in the lane, puts it on the deck. A whistle and a foul on the floor, and I believe that will be on Chris Corbin for the Pride.
And that was a great play by Jackson Whitley. You could tell he wanted to take a step with that left foot, go up for the hook shot, but if he would have dragged that right foot even half a centimeter, it would have been a walk. Great job to find the cutting Ray Hall instead. Create a new possession here for the Monarchs.
Iabarino straight away for three, in and out, no good. Defensive rebound by Cole Gatling for the Pride. Corbin to Griffith in the corner, thought about the three, now he'll drive. In the lane, right hand, had it blocked by Whitley. Rebound chased down, bounced out of bounds before Mary could save it, and now it will be Monarchs basketball.
Both teams missing their first three-point attempts of the evening here. We've talked about this off air, Matt. This gym is huge. Most USA South gyms, the baskets are right up against the wall. Here they just kind of float in the air. Fantastic arena to hold this tournament in.
15 on the shot clock for Methodist. Rouse on the drive, tough move, gets it up with the right hand and floats it in over the 6'5 Lorenzo Mary.
Great finish by Rouse, floating through the lane there.
Pride with the basketball, 23 on the shot clock. Here's Chris Corbin. Corbin, long two, yes.
That was a great little pull-up there. He stopped on a dime, rose about a foot behind the free throw line, making 13 feet look like a layup there.
4-4, 17:47 to play in the first half. Here's Blake Davis down for Iabarino, lays it up and in, count it, and the foul.
There's not really a way to stop Davion Iabarino. I'm sure Coach Gillespie and his staff have put together a few ways to try to slow him down. Expect to see very defensive schemes specifically designed to get the ball out of Davion Iabarino's hands.
I mean, we can go all the way back to before we were even alive in the late 80s between the Pistons and the Chicago Bulls. The Jordan rules of Coach Chuck Daly and the Pistons trying to stop Michael Jordan and the Bulls.
That's a fantastic analogy. I'm not calling Davion Iabarino Michael Jordan.
Neither am I.
But the dominance that he has portrayed in this season has been close to what Michael did, both at UNC and in the NBA.
Jump ball called after Mary was on the floor for the Pride and Rouse on the floor for the Monarchs. We get a jump ball here, and it will be Pride basketball. 7-4, the Pride trailing the Monarchs of Methodist University. Long inbound to Chris Corbin, and a fresh shot clock here for the Pride.
Interesting to see the Monarchs come out in a zone this early. They're going to try to force Greensboro to shoot. We talked about how the basket is a little bit different for shooters like Gatling. And you can see that one went a little bit far, having a hard time with the depth perception.
Blake Davis the other way now for the Monarchs. Also want to mention that Davion Iabarino already with 5 of the Monarchs' 7 points here in the early going. Ray Hall to Iabarino on the wing. Down low for Whitley. Whitley all the way, lays it up and flips it right in.
Lorenzo Mary going to have to be careful all night. If he steps out to try to get in front of a pass to Whitley, he needs to recover. You cannot let Jackson Whitley have a step on you towards the basket. He's just too big.
16:35 to play here in the opening half. The Monarchs have the basketball. Blake Davis across the timeline, picked up by Cole Gatling. Davis to Ray Hall, 20 on the shot clock for Methodist. Around a screen by Whitley, stepping back, fadeaway try, he missed it. Ball still on the floor, picked up by Iabarino in the corner for 3, yes.
And a little bit of jawing to Cole Gatling there. Looks like Gatling has a head full of steam. Iabarino with the defensive pressure. He's playing out of his mind early.
Gatling wanted the whistle, he didn't get it. Here's Ray Hall, spinning in the lane, flips it up and in, and now a 10-point advantage for the Monarchs of Methodist University, 14-4 with under 16 minutes to play.
Coach Gillespie looking to make some changes here. Cornelius Johnson, the small forward, not playing the 3 position, the small, undersized forward who makes an impact down low, and the sensational freshman that we talked about earlier, Darius Maddox. The Monarchs of Methodist dominating that first 4-minute period of this game. 10-point game heading into the under 16 media timeout.
15:43 to play here in the first half. Methodist University 14, Greensboro College 4. We are here at the USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament here on the Averett Sports Network. Welcome back to the Grant Center here at Averett University. Game 2 of the quarterfinal round in USA South Men's Basketball Conference play.
Fitting during that timeout for the Pride that the very, very popular song Closer was playing. Pride trying to inch a little bit closer, close this 10-point gap that the Monarchs have created for themselves early.
Lorenzo Mary in the lane for the Pride. Tough shot off the glass. Great defensive presence there by Jackson Whitley. And here comes Ray Hall for Methodist. Methodist shooting 6 of 10 from the field right now. Now 7 of 11 after the Iabarino make. And the Pride offensively 2 of 8 from the field.
And Davion Iabarino is ridiculous. Surrounded by 3 bodies. He already has 10 points. 10 points in 5 minutes. He's making a basket a minute. Not a point. A basket a minute.
Johnson out for Gatling. 8 on the shot clock for the Pride. Crossover in the lane. Runner with the right hand. He missed it. Defensive rebound by Jackson Whitley for the Monarchs.
Tough sledding for the Pride so far offensively. Would love to see Donovan Griffith with the ball in his hands. Unfortunately, he is not in the game right now. He's the guy that's going to need to take over for the Pride, in my opinion.
Whitley with the runner way off and missed. Never hit the rim. Shot clock still clocking down at 7 seconds. Iabarino again puts it in from the low block. He has 12, and the Monarchs lead it by 14, 18-4.
He has 12, and he should almost get his own assist. He was the one that poked that ball in from going out of bounds, and another basket for Iabarino. He has 14 points, and it is 20-4.
Coach Goluski for the Pride calls a 30-second timeout with 14:09 to play here in the opening half. So we are going to stay right here during this 30-second timeout. 2 fouls already for the Pride. 1 on Chris Corbin, 1 on Donovan Griffith. Griffith currently not in the game at the moment. But Davion Iabarino is 6 of 8 from the field. The Monarchs collectively 9 of 14 from the field. They've made 1 of 3 threes, where the Pride are 2 of 9 from the field and 0 of 2 from 3. And the Monarchs have yet to turn the basketball over either.
They're playing flawless basketball right now, and every single bit of it is Davion Iabarino.
20-4, Methodist leading Greensboro. 14:05 to play here in the opening half. Pass intended for Darius Maddox, thrown out of bounds. And we're going to see a substitution.
And Darius Maddox is hobbling off the court. That is the last thing Pride fans want to see right now, maybe with the exception of the scoreboard.
Darius seeking medical attention from the Pride training staff. May have rolled an ankle. However, Javen Garrison, Mateo Baggio, and Donovan Griffith into the game for the Pride, as Ray Hall has it here for the Monarchs.
And Ray Hall is too quick for Mateo Baggio. That is a mismatch that the Monarchs will look to take advantage of. Look at 5'3" Javen Garrison coming out of the huddle with the basketball there. Great defensive rebound.
Cornelius Johnson, top of the key. Has a cutting. Gatling had it poked away by Davis, and here he comes now for Methodist.
Quick hands for the High Point, North Carolina native, Blake Davis.
Free throw line jumper, Ray Hall, in and out, no good. Another rebound by Javen Garrison, and here he comes quickly for Greensboro.
Great hesitation.
all the way. Javen Garrison on the miss. Johnson, offensive rebound, goes up with it. No, but he will go to the free throw line. That foul is going to be on Ray Hall, the first foul on Methodist.
And, Matt, we've talked about it all season. None of these Greensboro guards are afraid to go down low amongst the trees. Do they finish every time? No. Do they get fouled on a high percentage of the shots that they miss down low? Yes. Cornelius Johnson, as we've mentioned, is a 5'11 forward.
And we saw when these two teams met last in Greensboro, he had drawn the assignment in part of the game to guard the 6'9 Jackson Whitley.
And he's been impressive in the two games against the Monarchs. 14 minutes of playing time in each. Steals in both games. 7 combined rebounds. Great game in the second game at Greensboro, as you mentioned.
13 minutes to play in the first half. Methodist leading Greensboro 20-6. Jackson Whitley back in the game. Cross-court pass to Baguette for 3 off the iron. No good. Big rebound by Auburn's. Now down low for Whitley, right side. Gets it to go. Counted on the foul.
And 2 of the 3 substitutes that we expect to see tonight from the Monarchs involved in that play. 2 seniors, Will Baguette and Irving Auburn's. If this was hockey, both of them would have been given an assist. Those points manufactured by the 2 senior substitutes.
Whitley free throw, no good there, and Johnson corrals the defensive rebound for Greensboro. Here comes Gatling.
Gatling missed Griffith in the corner. Garrison picked his head up. Ill-advised pass, and that's 2 turnovers on poor passing decisions early in this game for the Pride. Demetrius Tilley steps into the game. Had not taken a 3-point shot all season before their season finale against Ferrum, where he went 2 for 2 from behind the arc. Today I noticed during warm-ups that he was taking a few threes. Interesting to see if that's something that he will be looking to do today.
22-6, Methodist with the lead. They have the basketball. Here's Baguette for 3. He knocks it down, and now 25-6 in favor of the Monarchs.
And how do you beat the zone? You make your 3-point shots.
Tilley underneath, tough shot, he missed it. Defensive rebound by Ray Hall for Methodist.
Methodist all over the court, offensively and defensively. They came to play, they came with a game plan in mind. Greensboro already changed up defensive schemes 3 times, trying to figure out how to slow down this Monarchs offense.
Ball knocked out of bounds, last touched by Troynell Reese, the junior from Fayetteville, North Carolina for Methodist. And that whistle will send us into the under 12 media timeout with 11:56 to play in the first half. Methodist 25, Greensboro 6. You're watching the USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament here on the Averett Sports Network. Welcome back, and thank you so much for joining us. We are live here at the Grant Center at Averett University. USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament here on the Averett Sports Network on the USA South YouTube channel. Javen Garrison brings the ball up the timeline, across the timeline for the Pride. Here's Cole Gatling in the lane, left side, left hand, can't get it to go. Cornelius Johnson, offensive rebound, back up with it. No. Loose ball, knocked out of bounds, last touched by Blake Davis of Methodist, and it will be Pride basketball.
And, Matt, unfortunately, we just don't have the ability to have an ESPN-like shot chart. But it's amazing how many shots the Pride have missed within 2 feet of the basket.
Now 2 of 13 from the field. Greensboro has the basketball. Garrison inbounding to Demetrius Tilley, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul on Jackson Whitley. That will be his first personal.
An interesting decision here. Both out-of-bounds plays. You have this 5'3" Javen Garrison trying to see over the 6'9" Jackson Whitley.
11:34 to play first half. Greensboro trailing by 19 to the Monarchs of Methodist University. Pass down intended for Cornelius Johnson, loses it off of his leg, and here comes Blake Davis for the Monarchs.
The Pride seem out of sorts. It doesn't seem like they're on the same page. Already a few silly turnovers that we are not used to seeing.
6 turnovers already for Greensboro. Here's Irving Auburn's tough shot, whistle, and a foul on Cole Gatling, and that will be his first personal, the team's 4th of this first half. Methodist University with 2 personal fouls in the first half. Irving Auburn's at the line for Methodist. First shot is good. Now a 20-point lead for Methodist.
A 20-point lead less than 9 minutes into the game. You know, we mentioned earlier during the Piedmont-Maryville game, Piedmont jumped out to a 10-point lead. Maryville was able to come back. Coming back against a 21-point deficit, even though there are still 31 minutes and change to play in this game. Mateo Baggio with an incredible finish. The length and athleticism for him to be able to cut through the lane, looking almost like Giannis Antetokounmpo with the size of his steps. That was an incredible play by the freshman at a huge moment.
The basket will count, makes it 27-8 currently. And Baggio at the line to shoot one. Shot is up. He missed it. Offensive rebound by Demetrius Tilley, though.
And you don't want to bring the ball down low when you're there. Keep the ball high.
Baggio again, similar move. Gets it to go again. Back-to-back creative layups for the Italian freshman.
With opposite hands. Use the right to finish the first. Use the left to finish the second. This would be a fantastic time to have a coming out party. Cole Gatling using his length to create a steal there.
Garrison on the move into traffic in the lane, dropping it down. That's Johnson underneath, up strong right hand, gets it to go, and now 3 straight field goals for the Pride. It's now 27-12.
And very interesting, smart decision by Coach Goluski to have Baggio and Gatling out at the front of the press there, the 2 longest set of arms on the court.
As Javen Garrison picks up his first personal foul.
And Darius Maddox, welcome sight for Pride fans checking back into the game. An even more welcome sight for Monarchs fans, Davion Iabarino back into the game.
Cole Gatling to the bench for the Pride. Javen Garrison, Darius Maddox, Cornelius Johnson, Mateo Baggio, and Demetrius Tilley, the 5 for Greensboro. Brian Rouse, Blake Davis, Davion Iabarino, Ray Hall, and Jackson Whitley, the 5 for Methodist. A whistle and a foul called against Greensboro while Rouse was rising up for the shot. That's the second foul on Javen Garrison in the last about 30 seconds of play.
And the difference right now for these 2 lineups on the court, nobody younger than a junior for the Monarchs, while 2 freshmen are on the court for Coach Goluski's Pride.
2 made free throws for Rouse, and it's now 29-12 in favor of Methodist. Maddox with the basketball around a screen, 16-foot around the way, yes!
And there is that sweet, sweet jump shot that Maddox likes to take from 5 feet behind the three-point arc to a foot outside the paint. Feels comfortable pulling up from anywhere.
Hall on the move down low. Whitley went up with it, got it to go over Johnson, who did get a hand on it.
And a great play by guess who? Davion Iabarino. Cornelius Johnson thought he had Javen Garrison standing wide open for the inbounds pass. Out of nowhere comes Iabarino, forces Johnson to double clutch and step inside the court boundaries. Another silly turnover forced by this Monarchs defense.
Javen Garrison takes a seat after some well-played minutes off the bench, and Chris Corbin will replace him. Coach Goluski wanted to travel there on Iabarino. There was no whistle. 20 seconds on the shot clock here for the Monarchs. Rouse, left side, that's a three. Off the back iron, no good. Big rebound by the freshman Darius Maddox, and he'll bring it up for Greensboro. Corbin tried the crossover, knocked away, loose ball tied up. And it will be Methodist basketball as Lorenzo Mary will check back in for the Pride.
And what did we say about Brian Rouse's defense in the pregame show? His hands are active and fast. That will be the first of many either jump balls or turnovers forced by the defensive prowess of Brian Rouse.
Pride trail the Monarchs 31-14 with just over 9 minutes to play here in the opening half. Ray Hall around a screen. Into the lane now. Right hand, right side. Gets it to go over Lorenzo Mary. 33-14 Methodist.
And the Pride just do not have a defensive answer right now.
Maddox to Baggio on the perimeter. Around a screen by Mary. Drops it down to him. Mary spinning. Right hand, tough shot off the glass. Can't get it to go. Rebounded by Davion Iabarino.
And Mary's just got to go tough there. The spin, the dribble, unnecessary extra movement. Have to go straight up. And if you don't make the shot, you'll get called, or you would have a foul called against you. As Iabarino finally misses a shot after what feels like the entire game, he has been outstanding.
Pride with the basketball. Long shot from Baggio, and he fills it up.
And Mateo Baggio with 7 early points for the Pride. 2 fantastic finishes in the lane, stepping outside for the beautiful three.
He is a perfect 3 for 3 from the field. As the Pride trail the Monarchs by 16, it's 33-17. Here's Blake Davis. Kicks out to Ray Hall with 12 on the shot clock. Hall on the drive all the way, lays it up, had it blocked, but a whistle and a foul will be called, I believe, on Demetrius Tilley. And that should send us into our under 8 media timeout with 7:51 to play here in the first half. We're live here at the Grant Center USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament. Greensboro and Methodist. 7:51 to play first half. We're going to take a break and be right back here on the Averett Sports Network. Thank you so much again for joining us here on the Averett Sports Network, USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament here at Averett University. The Pride of Greensboro College, the 7 seed, trailing the Methodist Monarchs, the 2 seed, 33-17 with just under 8 minutes to play in the opening half. Ray Hall stepping to the charity stripe coming out of the under 8 media timeout for Methodist.
And Ray Hall on the season, a fantastic free throw shooter at 82%. And the old announcer jinx. Let me go ahead and apologize to Ray and his family. I take responsibility.
Second free throw for Ray Hall on the way. He made that one. 34-17 in favor of the Monarchs. Gatling dribbling to his right, dribble handoff to Demetrius Tilley on the right wing, 20 on the shot clock. Here's Maddox, top of the key to Corbin. Corbin on the drive, left side, stops his dribble, kicks out Gatling. Gatling moving into the lane, tried to kick it out. Loose ball knocked away by Iabarino, and it will be Pride basketball with 4 on the shot clock.
And everybody watching at home right now, do yourself a favor and just track Davion Iabarino. He is everywhere.
Wish we had a tracker to see like how many miles like they do in soccer. Especially, but I mean, all the players on these two teams, it's been back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. The Monarchs have already scored 34 points, and we're not even at the break yet. This is uncharacteristic for this team, averaging 77 points per game. At this rate, they are definitely going to surpass that average.
And again, at this point, it's up to the Pride's defense to try to slow them down. But if they can't, the offense has got to show up. Because if this game is anything like the last two, it's going to end up in the high 80s or 90s. But at this rate, it looks like only Methodist is going to be up there. Greensboro might be stuck somewhere between 50 and 60. Troynell Reese picking up the foul there. Demetrius Tilley stepping to the line, who, as I mentioned, he might want to take a few steps back and take these free throws from behind the arc. A perfect 2 for 2 from 3 on the season, whereas he is only a 40% free throw shooter. Now 8 for 21 on the season.
7:19 to go here in the Grant Center. Demetrius Tilley making the second free throw. It's 34-18. And the Monarchs have the basketball.
Brian Rouse, fantastic ball handler, breaking the press there.
Sweet pass down low. Whitley up for the two-handed flush. And it's 36-18 in favor of Methodist. That has been, you could watch that play and say, yep, that's Jackson Whitley. You don't even need to know what color jersey he's wearing. He's been doing that for Coach Smith and the Monarchs all season long.
And credit to Coach Smith. He has devised plays and schemes offensively, as Maddox misses the three, to create open opportunities for Whitley. Whitley does not move a lot on the offensive end off the ball. He sets his position, and the other four guys with their movement create open shots for him.
Right. And a loose ball foul on Troynell Reese. The second foul on Reese. Corbin will inbound for the Pride to Maddox in the corner. Now Gatling top of the key around a screen by Lorenzo Mary. Back to Mary, kicks out Corbin. Corbin back down, Lorenzo underneath, puts it up and in. Count it. And the foul. Lorenzo Mary has a chance for an old-fashioned three-point play.
And the four-year senior point guard finding the four-year senior center on that combination pass there. Big shot for Lorenzo Mary. Pride have not been within 15 for almost 7 minutes of game time. And here they are, close the gap to 15. Now, the fact that I'm even saying they have closed the gap to 15 speaks to how phenomenal the Monarchs have been playing throughout this first half.
Cornelius Johnson back into the game for Coach Gillespie's Greensboro Pride as Demetrius Tilley takes a seat. 6.5 to play in the half. Methodist with a 16-point advantage, 15-point advantage, 36-21. Auburn's with 14 on the shot clock. Now here's Blake Davis. Davis down to Iabarino. Backing in on Johnson. Gets his way into the lane. Flips it up with the left hand. Nothing but net. And it's now 38-21 Methodist.
And if anybody at home had taken my advice and was watching Davion Iabarino, he tucked that ball. As soon as he picked up the dribble, tucked it like a running back, not letting any loose hands poke that free for the layup.
As Whitley called on the other end for a reach-in foul as the entry pass was entering Lorenzo Mary. That will be the second personal foul on Jackson Whitley, who has 8 points and 2 rebounds to go with 2 blocks and a steal.
And that, like you've mentioned, that stat line is to be expected of Jackson Whitley. And even as incredibly as Davion Iabarino has played, it's not uncharacteristic of him to put these numbers up either. This is just who the Monarchs are. And we mentioned, when you only play 8 guys, if you get into foul trouble, you're put at a disadvantage. But a huge advantage is the lineup combinations with only 8 guys seeing minutes as opposed to 10 or 12. Everybody is used to everybody else on the court. Especially with Whitley, you find these passes down low that a lot of teams who have played together for fewer play sets or even less seasons would not be able to come up with.
Mary did make both free throws. It's now 40-23. Methodist still with a 17-point advantage. Corbin to Lorenzo Mary, top of the key. Back to Corbin. He'll try a three off the iron. No good. Rebounded by Jackson Whitley for Methodist.
And right now, the game is playing right into the Monarchs' hands. Cole Gatling has no points. Donovan Griffith has 2 points. Darius Maddox has 2 points. We talked about the big three for Greensboro. Combined, they only have 2 made shots right now.
Pass goes off the foot of Lorenzo Mary, and the Monarchs have the ball now. 5 minutes to go in the opening half. Here's Irving Auburn's now to Ray Hall. 15 on the shot clock for the Monarchs. Ray Hall, right wing, he'll rise for 3, yes.
And Hall loves to shoot the ball. We mentioned his free throw percentage. He's also shooting well over 36% from the three-point line, as Lorenzo Mary with a nice finish on the other end.
Responsible for the Pride's last, I believe, 6 points. It is now 43-25. Methodist still leading by 18 as Ray Hall open again for 3, in and out, and it goes back in. He's made 2 in a row from beyond the arc.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me, as Cornelius Johnson steps outside and banks in the 3. But you cannot leave Ray Hall open from the exact same spot where he just buried a 3. It's too easy.
Auburn's on the drive, puts it up and in.
And Auburn's lucky to have finished that. He missed a wide-open Davion Iabarino in the corner, and I'm sure Coach Smith would have given him an earful if he put that shot up in the lane and missed with open Iabarino on the wing.
So we're going to head into a timeout here with 4 minutes left. It's a 30-second timeout, so we will stay with you. And right now, I'm trying to figure it out. Our stats on our media stats, the live stats say 46-30 is the score, but the scoreboard here in the Grant Center says 48-28. We're going to see if we can get that sorted out and get that confirmed.
Either way, this game has been dominated on both ends of the court by the Monarchs of Methodist University. Greensboro really does not have much to take away from this from a positive standpoint, except for maybe the play of Lorenzo Mary, who has been phenomenal so far, but he is about the only person that has been looking that good. Now, you go down the line, and again, Griffith, Gatling, and Maddox cannot stay this quiet forever. However, they're going to need to do something soon, and I'm going to go ahead and correct myself earlier. Donovan Griffith has no points. Cole Gatling has no points. I misspoke earlier and said that Griffith had made a shot. Darius Maddox is the only one of the big 3 for the Pride that has hit a shot, and it has been one, that free throw line jumper.
48-28, the Pride trailing by 20. Cornelius Johnson for Greensboro in the lane, goes up with the right hand, missed it. Mateo Baggio, power dribble, off with it, no good, and we're going to get a whistle and a foul. And that's going to be on Mateo Baggio. That is his second personal.
This is not going to be a pleasant halftime experience for the Pride. After having such a fantastic season for 2/3 of the year, this is a bad time to fall apart offensively.
A 21-point advantage for Methodist as Ray Hall makes the first free throw. Both teams in the bonus here for the remainder of this half. 8 fouls for Greensboro, 7 fouls for Methodist. Ray Hall makes both free throws, and it's now 50-28 in favor of the Monarchs. And we're going to get a whistle and a foul on number 34, Zach Jenneret.
And Zach Jenneret is one of the bench players that is not used to seeing minutes. But when you're up 22 in the first round of a conference tournament, where we mentioned the winner of the tournament will have to have won 3 games in 3 days. If you have an opportunity to rest a guy like a Brian Rouse, like a Will Baguette, like a Jackson Whitley, go ahead and get those rest minutes.
And you mentioned that all three of those players that you just said are sitting on the bench for Coach Smith currently, as Baggio is at the line. Free throw is missed. Big rebound by Irving Auburn's for Methodist, and here comes Blake Davis. Iabarino left-handing to the lane, driving up with it, no good, but Irving Auburn's up with it with the putback, two-handed flush to make it 52-28 in favor of Methodist.
Everything going the Monarchs' way as Cole Gatling forces up a shot, looking for the contact. The Pride frustrated, the Monarchs elated with how this first half has been playing itself out.
And a foul on Dominic Fumbanks, who recently checked in for Greensboro. That will send Zach Jenneret to the free throw line for Methodist.
Now, Matt, it's still early. Still have 23 minutes of game time left. However, I think now is an appropriate time to bring up that the Pride have only lost one conference game by more than 6 points. 5 of their 6 conference losses have come by 6 or fewer points. This is uncharacteristic, to say the least, of the Pride as Fumbanks converts on the bank shot.
52-30, Methodist leading Greensboro, 2:39 to play opening half. Iabarino on the wing kicks out. Ray Hall will reset with 18 on the shot clock. Hall around a screen. Pulls it back into the corner. 8 on the shot clock. Hall driving again. Tough shot. Gets it to go. And it's 54-30. Ray Hall now with 15 points. Gatling pump fakes. Now steps into a 3. He missed it. Ball chased down. Pass ahead. Irving Auburn's all the way. One-handed dunk. It eventually rolls in. And it's now 56-30 in favor of Methodist. Coach Goluski for Greensboro will call a timeout with 2:01 to play here in the first half. Methodist 56, Greensboro 30. We're going to take a short break. We're live here from the Grant Center on the Averett Sports Network. We'll be right back. Welcome back, and thank you for joining us here. USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament. Greensboro and Methodist squaring off in what has been a commanding lead for the majority of this first half for Coach Smith and the Methodist Monarchs.
And right now, the Monarchs have 56 points with 2 minutes to play. By far the most points the Pride have allowed in any single half from a defensive standpoint all season. Also important to note, one game all season, they have had 30 points or fewer in the first half. It was against Maryville, as Baggio continues his fantastic first half to put them at 32 points. Still, only 4 single halves throughout the course of the season where the Pride have scored 32, 31, or 30 points. A very, very quiet first half. They're going to need 60 in the second if Methodist keeps up playing the way they are.
Loose ball. Here's a turnover. Baggio right side all the way, lays it up and in. He now leads the Pride with 11. Blake Davis will bring it up now for the Monarchs.
With 1 minute and 10 seconds left here, similar to game 1 this afternoon, the Pride just need a couple of baskets. They don't need to be fouling Davion Iabarino, sending the best player in the conference arguably besides Chuck Bryant, plays his home games here at Averett, to the free throw line.
Iabarino with 16 points on the afternoon. He shot 1 free throw and made it. Also has 5 rebounds and a steal. Shot 7 from 11 from the field so far. Now has 17 points.
Iabarino and Ray Hall, the only 2 players on this Methodist team to have shot more than 75 free throws this season. Ray Hall had 101 coming into the game. Iabarino an astounding 112 attempted free throws this season.
Gatling the other way now for the Pride. Hanging gun way off, no good. And here comes Ray Hall with under a minute to go in the opening half. Davis guarded closely by Mateo Baggio. Right side, Rouse, 3, yes. 60 points for the Monarchs in this half.
And they called a delay of game on Davion Iabarino for touching the ball after the basket was good.
So Demetrius Tilley will return for Greensboro. Dominic Funbank's taking a seat.
And although I assume Coach Smith and Davion himself are upset at that call, there's not much that could happen to rain on their 60-point first half parade.
3 seconds separating the shot clock and the game clock. Hamilton Hawkins with the basketball. 20 seconds left here in the first half.
Hamilton Hawkins with a great drive. Dangerous play down low. He kind of got his hip swung out from under him, hit the ground hard. Looks okay. Big 2 free throws here. Every single point counts for the Pride here.
Shot clock turned off. 10.1 seconds remain here in the first half. Hawkins' first free throw off the back iron missed. The Pride now 6 of 11 from the charity stripe.
And Coach Koleski is a fantastic word artist. Very, very talented interviewer. I'll say, or interviewee. I've never been inside the locker room during a halftime speech. But I imagine he's racking his brain right now trying to come up with the 1 or 2 things that he has yet to tell his guys this season to try to pull their heads up, keep their chins high, and come out in the second half as Baggio misses a wild shot.
Tilley missing. Contact, no foul. We will head into the half here at the Grant Center. 60-35, Methodist leading the way, leading about the entire half in dominating fashion. We're going to take a short break and be right back here. It's halftime here between Greensboro and Methodist on the Averett Sports Network. Halftime here at the Grant Center on the Averett Sports Network. Thank you so much for joining us. We are at the half of Game 2 of 4 this afternoon and carrying into the evening. It's quarterfinal round of the USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament here on the USA South YouTube channel, brought to you from Danville, Virginia, on the campus of Averett University. Want to thank the sports information staff here at Averett, especially Sports Information Director Drew Wilson, for the opportunity to bring you this live action. My name is Matt Romanowski. I am joined by Austin Scher. Austin, we're at the half here, and we can't talk enough about how well this Methodist team has been playing, with 3 players in double figures, being led by who we predicted was going to lead them, Davion Iabarino, 17 points, 7 rebounds, 7 of 11 from the field.
And he came out on fire. He took control early. And when the score was 24-4, I'm going to let you guys clean your ears. The score was 24-4. Iabarino had 14 to 15 of those points, was put on the bench for a little bit just to get some rest. Greensboro pulled within 15. He came back into the game, and the rest has been, as they say, history. He is an outstanding basketball player on both ends of the court. The scariest thing about him is that he has another year. He and Jackson Whitley are both juniors. The 2 stars of this team are juniors. And Iabarino, you said it right. We cannot say enough about his impact. The other positive for Methodist, and I'm sure they are not looking ahead. They're not looking past this game. Greensboro is certainly not looking past this game. But Jackson Whitley only played 11 minutes in that first half, and they're still up 25. We all know for guys his size, it's not natural to be running and jumping and moving as much as he is. For 3 games over 3 days, to have your starting center, a true center, rested,
could definitely pay off.
The positives for Methodist, you can't say enough about them. They have been outstanding. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. There's no way around it. They deserve to be up 25, and they are up 25.
And we mentioned earlier, late in that first half, the 3-headed monster for Coach Goluski's Greensboro Pride coming into today's game of Cole Gatling, Donovan Griffith, and Darius Maddox only combined for 2 points in that first half on a made bucket by Darius Maddox that came toward the back half of that first half of play. So Cole Gatling and Donovan Griffith held scoreless in that first half. And Gatling played in 18 minutes, 0 of 7 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. Griffith played in only 6 minutes after committing 2 personal fouls, 0 for 2 from the field, 0 for 1 from 3. And we mentioned Darius Maddox was able to knock down that free throw line jumper. The Pride being led by Matteo Baggio, who came off the bench in 9 minutes of play, 5 of 7 from the field. He's also made a 3, 11 points, 2 rebounds. He does have 2 personal fouls, but in just 9 minutes, he has been the leader for this Pride team so far with 11.
And he's missed 2 free throws, could have had 13, and both of his rebounds are on the offensive end of the court. He has been the one catalyst, and you don't want to use that word catalyst because there hasn't been much of anything started from him, but he has been outstanding. Without question, his best half of the season. Unfortunately for the Pride, their fans, Coach Goluski and his staff, just about everybody else has had their worst single half of the season. When you play 10 guys, you can't have 10% of them playing their best half of the season in the conference tournament. Need more production from your superstars, and it will be interesting to see how Coach Goluski manages the lineups that he's playing in the second half. How many minutes is he going to give to Darius Maddox, Donovan Griffith, Cole Gatling? Are they going to play until they can't anymore due to foul trouble? At this point, it's hard to argue against a lineup of Chris Corbin running point, Hamilton Hawkins subbing back and forth with him, Darius Maddox, Matteo Baggio, who deserves to be on the court based on his first half of play, and then Gatling and Griffith. They need to find offense quick.
So just under a minute left before second half action will begin here in the Grant Center. 60-35 your halftime score. And we do invite you to stay with the USA South YouTube channel following this game with the 4 and 5 seeds of LaGrange and William Peace facing off here at approximately 5 p.m. Probably closer to 5:30 or 6. And then after that, the host Averett Cougars taking on the Covenant Scots in a 1 seed versus 8 seed matchup. Starters on the floor for Greensboro: Corbin, Hawkins, Gatling, Griffith, and Lorenzo Mary. Also starters for Coach Smith and the Methodist Monarchs: Brian Rouse, Blake Davis, Davion Iabarino, Ray Hall, and Jackson Whitley on the floor. Pride with the basketball to begin the half as they try to chip away at the deficit. Alley-oop, first play of the half, a reverse two-handed flush from Chris Corbin. That was Donovan Griffith on the finishing end.
And Donovan Griffith needs to take that and run with it. Keep that feeling and run with it. A huge start to the second half, similar to how the Monarchs started the first half. Just came out right away and punched him in the mouth.
Iabarino turning, fading away off the iron, no good. Rebound and put back by Ray Hall for Methodist.
And Ray Hall, there he is again. Outstanding first half. He is now tied with Davion Iabarino for the team lead in points. Both of them have 17. If this game was 5-on-2, the Pride would only be up by 3.
Griffith to Hawkins. Hawkins down low to Gatling. Gatling backing in. Goes up with it. Way too long, misfires.
And that is the impact of Jackson Whitley. Any other player in the league, and I mean any other player in the league, Cole Gatling puts that up, just a normal layup off the glass. But because of the presence and size of Jackson Whitley, forced Gatling into a tougher shot and shot long.
3 on the way from Rouse off the iron, no good. Rebound tapped out of bounds by the extraordinary effort by Donovan Griffith there. It will remain Monarchs basketball. 18:39 to play here in the second half of play. We're at the Grant Center at Averett University.
And you have to love Donovan Griffith's energy so far. I also like the fact that he came out and face-guarded Davion Iabarino. I enjoy this Pride defense when they play man-to-man. That was a great drive by Ray Hall again. He's all over the place.
Blake Davis underneath the basket now, kicks out. Iabarino. One dribble, shoots, misses from beyond the arc. Here comes Hamilton Hawkins for Greensboro. Hawkins driving down the middle. Griffith in the corner, extra pass to Corbin. Corbin thought about the three. He'll drive, hop step in the lane. Over Whitley, missed it. Mary on the putback is not there. Corbin with the offensive rebound. And here's Griffith for 3. Gets stuck on the back iron and he missed it. And here comes Ray Hall, now Iabarino for Methodist.
And the Pride will be kicking themselves over how many chippy layups they have missed tonight. None of them have been uncontested, but you at least expect it at 50% to fall in, as Brian Rouse with a terrific drive on the left side of the court finished with the right hand. Pride out of sorts as Blake Davis comes up with the pick.
Loses or steps out of bounds. It will remain Pride basketball, but this Methodist team has been playing very well, not only offensively with a 64-point outburst so far, but defensively as well, holding this potent Pride offense to only 37 points. Gatling for 3 off the back iron, no good. Rebounded by Ray Hall for the Monarchs.
And Cole Gatling is frustrated with himself. He just can't seem to find it today. 0 for 9 from the field. And you have to wonder if his inability to play in that senior day game against Ferrum, as that should have been a kick ball call, has affected Cole Gatling's ability to come out and get ready, as Jackson Whitley just obliterates the basket. It's still shaking back and forth.
66-37 in favor of Methodist. Corbin elbow try, he missed it. Here comes Blake Davis for Methodist. Poked by Corbin. Now Rouse has it. Free throw line jumper, yes.
The basket is still moving back and forth from Whitley's slam dunk. Not sure how that shot from Rouse was able to find its way in. It's almost like a moving target, like a carnival game.
largest lead of the game for Methodist. They lead it by 31, 68-37. Griffith elbow tried not there. Rebounded by Jackson Whitley. And as it was attempted to be poked away by Hamilton Hawkins, he's called for the reach-in foul. It will be Monarchs basketball as Javen Garrison checks in for Chris Corbin.
And it has not been within the Pride's mantra this season. It has not been their style of play to play a chippy game. But if they're going to have a shot in this one, they're going to need to start getting a little chippy underneath the basket. Tough rebounds on both ends of the court are going to be necessary. Made shots, which 34 minutes into the game, they have not had many of, are going to be huge as well.
Ray Hall kicks it back out. Late in the shot clock are the Monarchs. Iabarino missing the shot from long range. Loose ball picked up by Lorenzo Mary for the Pride, and here comes Hawkins. Down low, Griffith, two-handed flush.
Griffith with 4 points in the first 4 minutes and change here in the second. As the defense chants start from the contingent of Pride fans that made the trip up Route 29 to Danville from Greensboro.
Whitley in the lane stops with it. Kicks it out to Ray Hall. They'll reset 10 on the shot clock. Hall stepping back, 18-footer, short, no good. Rebound tapped. Iabarino's got it. Poked away and stolen. All ball there by Lorenzo Mary, and here comes Garrison.
Great play by Mary as Javen Garrison quickly down the court. Had an open layup, should have just put it in as Hamilton Hawkins gets to the line. Important to mention now, with Brian Rouse's latest free throw line jumper, there are now 5 Monarchs in double-figure scoring. There are still 15 minutes of basketball to play.
So we will enter the under 16 media timeout here in the second half. 15:03 to play here on the Averett Sports Network. It's USA South Conference men's basketball tournament here on the Averett Sports Network. We will be right back. Thank you so much again for tuning in here on the Averett Sports Network. USA South men's basketball conference tournament here being hosted by the top-seeded Averett University. The 2 and the 7 playing currently Greensboro, the 7 seed, against the tough 2 seed in Methodist, as they've shown so far this afternoon. They lead the Pride 68-39 with 15:03 to play here in the Grant Center.
And Matt, it's interesting that we have talked both on and off the air about how this tournament has been so, the seeds can get thrown out the window. The season was so close from 1 to 8, only separated by 2 games. But it looks almost like the exact opposite of what we were expecting in a tooth and nail, hard-fought battle down to the last shot. It does appear that Methodist is very, very deserving of the 2 seed. And Greensboro is deserving of the 7 right now. It's a 28-point game. Methodist already with 68. There's still 14 and a half minutes to play.
Davis misfiring from long range. Javen Garrison with the defensive rebound for the Pride.
Javen Garrison now with 3 rebounds. For a guy who stands 5'3", I'm sure Coach Gillespie will take those 3.
Hawkins on the drive had it blocked. And he will inbound here for the Pride.
You ready for another fun fact?
Sure.
Just one little fun fact. Javen Garrison's season high for rebounds in a game was 1 before today.
Here's a steal. Here comes Rouse all the way left side. He missed it. I believe that foul will be called on the Pride's Cole Gatling.
Looks like they got Garrison on the arm contact.
That's the third personal foul on Javen Garrison, sending Brian Rouse to the free throw line. Rouse has 11 points. It's a perfect 3 of 3 now from the free throw line. 12 points for the junior guard from Greensboro, North Carolina.
There are quite a few Greensboro natives. Well, if you want to include High Point
Guilford County,
let's just call it the triad.
Mm-hmm.
But Coach Smith loves to recruit out of those high schools that in Central North Carolina that, and the high school tournaments every year, they show up.
Gatling had it lost, a whistle and a foul on the reach on Blake Davis. 14:02 to play here in game number 2 of 4 to be played in the quarterfinal round of the USA South Men's Tournament. 70-40, Methodist leading Greensboro. Gatling left side, puts it on the deck, lost it on his way there, and here come the Monarchs.
Oh, took about 5 steps there without a dribble.
And no whistle.
Now,
and Rouse made the basket and made the traveling motion with his hands as Garrison misses. And here comes Blake Davis now for Methodist.
Now, you never want to say never. But with 13 and a half minutes facing a 32-point deficit, it does not look great for the Pride. And on the other side of the coin, it's almost time to start getting some rest for the Monarchs. They have a tough game coming up tomorrow, whoever ends up winning this game, against a Maryville team that came out and played an outstanding second half against Piedmont in the first game of the day.
Iabarino puts his head down, flips it up. It's no good. Loose ball picked up by Javen Garrison.
And Garrison has been all over the place. Look at how quick he is.
Takes it the length of the floor, lays it up and lays it in. 72-42.
And it is important for the Pride to play with that kind of effort and intensity. Like I said, you never say never, and you do not know how the backstretch of the second half is going to play out. They need to keep their heads up. They need to keep playing their game. If they can get out and start running like we just saw Javen Garrison do, they could claw back into this thing. And if they could make it a 10-point game, a 12-point game with 2 or 3 minutes left, what a pass by Cole Gatling.
Mary not able to finish there. And here comes Ray Hall for Methodist. With 12:20 to play, we see Demetrius Tilley at the scorer's table for Greensboro and Irving Auburn's at the scorer's table for Methodist. And we're going to get a timeout called by Davion Iabarino as he was trapped here in front of the Methodist bench. That'll go to the media timeout with 12:14 to play. We're here on the Averett Sports Network. It's the USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament here in Danville, Virginia. Methodist 72, Greensboro 42. We'll be right back. Matt Romanowski and Austin Scher live here with you on the Averett Sports Network. Want to thank the USA South Conference and the staff here at Averett for allowing us to come up and have the call here for these first 2 games of the quarterfinal round. Methodist with the basketball here. Ray Hall in the lane, a whistle, and there's a traveling called. with 12:04 to play. The Pride have the basketball.
And with 12 minutes left in this game, the Pride with 42 points. They have had 14 halves of basketball in the 14 conference games where they have put up more than 42 points, and it's taken them 28 minutes as Cole Gatling misses another three.
Put back by Tilley is good, and it's now 72-44 in favor of Methodist.
But this Monarchs defense really has been tremendous. Down low especially, the Pride have missed countless layups, and it's not because there's no pressure. The Monarchs are all over them, have 2-3 bodies with their hands straight up in the air every time a Pride player is in the lane.
5 on the shot clock. Here's Ray Hall on the drive all the way. Had it blocked, Cole Gatling. Ray Hall gets it back and puts it up and in. 74-44. Corbin in the lane, kicks now Tilley to Gatling. Gatling driving baseline all the way, kicks in the other corner, Hawkins. Hawkins spinning, kicks out Gatling in the corner, thought about a three, takes a dribble, takes the three, misses. Two-handed flush by Donovan Griffith, and it's now 74-46.
And Griffith, given the basket, the Jackson Whitley treatment, still swinging back and forth. And the Pride now have to go shoot on that hoop.
And a costly turnover as we get the under 12 media timeout. 10:46 to play here in Danville, Virginia. We're at the Grant Center. It's the USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament. The 2-seeded Monarchs leading the 7-seeded Pride 74-46. We're going to take a short break and be right back here on the Averett Sports Network. Matt Romanowski and Austin Scher live here with you in the Grant Center. The Pride of Greensboro College trailing the Monarchs of Methodist University 74-46.
And if the Pride are going to come back and have a chance to win this game, they're going to need to start things on the defensive end. In both games against Methodist during the regular season, the Pride forced the Monarchs into 19 turnovers. Methodist playing great, smart basketball, controlling the basketball. Only 8 turnovers today as Donovan Griffith is starting to get into a little rhythm, hitting the 8-foot jumper.
He now has 8 points on 4 of 8 shooting. Cole Gatling still scoreless for Greensboro. Ray Hall with the basketball for the Monarchs. 14 on the shot clock.
Great hustle by Gatling, fighting around the screen, preventing Irvin Auburns from having an open three-point shot.
Elbow jumper missed by Ray Hall, rebounded by Griffith, and here comes Chris Corbin. Corbin driving all the way, left side, left hand, missed it, but he will go to the charity stripe.
Chris Corbin, the senior point guard for the Pride, a 61% free throw shooter on the year. He's been there a lot, second on the team in free throw attempts with 85. This would be his first of the tournament.
9:58 to play. That foul was on Blake Davis, his second personal, only the Monarchs' second foul, as we see the big giant Jackson Whitley back in the game. Also Brian Rouse and Will Baguette in for the Monarchs. Corbin to shoot one more. This would give the Pride 50 points, and it does. 9:58 to play. Methodist on top 74-50.
If you've been following the USA South this season and somebody told you that it would take 30 minutes of basketball for the Greensboro Pride to score 50 points, you would have said that you're crazy.
Baguette guarded closely by Corbin. 12 on the shot clock for the Monarchs. Rouse working on Hawkins, pushing off, and we're going to get an offensive foul.
And there is one of those turnovers. Now, can the Pride convert it into a basket is the question.
9.5 to play in the ball game. 74-50. Pride still looking to trim away at this deficit as much as they can with only 9:27 to play. Gatling right side, that's a three, had it blocked by Whitley off of Auburn's, out of bounds. It will stay with the Pride.
The length of Whitley is incredible. He was a good 7 feet away from Cole Gatling when he started his shooting motion, but he took one step, put that giant arm out in the air and was able to get a fingertip on it. Shot it up, falling about 5 feet short.
I mean, look at how long his arms are. He has to have over a 7-foot wingspan.
Easily.
10 on the shot clock here for the Pride. This is Cole Gatling left side, now to Griffith in the paint. Went up for the dunk, and it was fouled on his way up by Jackson Whitley.
And it almost looked like Donovan Griffith was listening in to Coach Lambert of Maryville's speech right before the end of the game for them. Strong with the ball, as we should have a substitution for Jackson Whitley, as he just picked up his 4th personal foul.
It's possible. Griffith at the line. He will shoot 2. His first one on the way is not good, just falls out.
It's been that kind of game for the Pride so far.
Jabari Brown into the game for Methodist as Jackson Whitley takes a seat. Griffith to shoot one more from the stripe. Griffith, second free throw, in and out again, missing both. And the score remains 74-50 in favor of the Monarchs. Baguette trapped, gets it to Rouse. Rouse open, right side 3, off the iron, no good. Big rebound by Irving Auburn's, going back up with it, can't get it to go. Gatling poked it away, but now Rouse has it for Methodist. Rouse on the drive, right hand, right side, off the square and in for 2. It's now 76-50 Methodist.
Unintentional trip by Hamilton Hawkins caught the foot of Brian Rouse coming back down the court.
As Corbin was driving toward the left side, tried to use the left hand, but Baguette fouled him on his way up, and Corbin will be back at the free throw line for Greensboro. Very important for the Pride to score as many points as possible from the free throw line with the clock stopped, facing a steep uphill mountain of a 26-point deficit.
And again, this team this season does not deserve a 20-plus point loss in the first round of the conference tournament. Even if they do end up losing the game, which at this point seems more than likely, they deserve to claw back into this and have a single-digit deficit. Again, only one loss in conference play has come by more than 6 points.
8:27 to play, 76-51, Methodist with the lead. 15 on the shot clock for Rouse, driving right side floater with the right hand, misses, and rebounded by Demetrius Tilley for the Pride.
Griffith is,
he wanted it. Entry pass down low. Here's Griffith, 2 hands, great feed from Demetrius Tilley, and it's now 76-53.
And that's all hustle and terrific off-ball movement by Donovan Griffith. Was streaking down the right side of the court, was not found, as the seldom used bench player Brown banks in the layup and is going to the line for an old-fashioned 3-point play.
Jabari Brown, a 6'4 junior forward from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Stone Mountain, Georgia's got something for you.
Brown with his first points of the game. We'll get the media timeout, under 8 media timeout with 7:57 to play here in the Grant Center at Averett University in Danville, Virginia. It's the USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament here. We will take a break and be right back.
He hasn't played in the second half.
As you just heard Austin say, he hasn't played in the second half. Talking about Mateo Baggio, thank you again for joining us here. Real quick, my name is Matt Romanowski, joined by Austin Scher. You were just talking about Mateo Baggio hasn't played yet in the second half after playing in 9 minutes in that first half. Still holds the team high with 11. Donovan Griffith joins him in double figures with 10, as Jabari Brown is at the free throw line looking for an old-fashioned three-point play.
And I have to imagine that Coach Gillespie just does not like the defensive matchup that Mateo Baggio would have to draw enough to have him in the game, because offensively, as you said, he still has the team high in points, was the only player making shots consistently in the first half, but he did have a few moments of defensive, I don't want to say ineptitude, he just got beat on a few plays as Cole Gatling scores his first points of the game on the nice alley-oop feed.
Gatling now with 2 as we get a traveling violation.
And there's another turnover forced by the Pride.
As Blake Davis back in for the Monarchs and Lorenzo Mary in for the Pride. Davion Iabarino also back in for Methodist. Also haven't seen much of Darius Maddox in this second half either. He's still sitting on the bench with 2 points.
And you have to wonder if his ankle injury, after sitting for 15 minutes in the locker room, got a little bit cold and uncomfortable.
As there's no foul called, no over-the-back call, and Corbin had stepped out of bounds there. That'll be another turnover for Greensboro, and Methodist will have the basketball. And pass knocked out of bounds. It will stay with the Monarchs with 26 on the shot clock.
One positive aspect of this game to take away for the Pride, every player that has seen minutes, with the exception of Dominic Fumbanks, has a rebound. They have been crashing the boards, only down 5 in the rebound department. When you have a guy like Jackson Whitley on the other end of the court, you don't expect to win the rebound battle, but they have been keeping that close, and it's been a team effort.
Tough shot by Rouse, blocked. Here's the pass ahead to Gatling. Has it underneath with the right hand, gets it to go. And now Gatling with back-to-back lay-ins. He has 4, and the Pride trails 78-57.
And the lead is cut to 21. Great find of Blake Davis by Brian Rouse to break that press. And
what a block there by Donovan Griffith. Troy Nell Reese was coming down with it. Tried to throw it down. Griffith with the rejection in what we all thought was going to be a sure dunk by the 6'6" Reese. Griffith coming out of nowhere, showing why he is second in the conference in blocks.
His second of the night. Jackson Whitley with 4.
And he's showing why he's leading the conference in blocks.
And one of them was that outstandingly athletic play to block Cole Gatling's open 3 attempt.
As Hawkins' defensive presence forces Auburn's to miss the lay-in. Griffith in the corner, that's a 3, yes!
And Donovan Griffith finally connects from 3. 1 for 3 now, and the lead is 18. This pressure is starting to get to the Monarchs a little bit, and if the Pride could force another couple turnovers, get another few stops, this could be a game again.
A team-high 13 points for Donovan Griffith. All 13 of those coming in this second half of play.
And Cole Gatling's 4 points, also second half points. Blake Davis gets tied up underneath. Possession will keep the ball with the Monarchs, but another great high-energy play by the Pride on defense.
Blake Davis will inbound the basketball for the Monarchs underneath their basket. 5:44 to play here in the Grant Center, 28 on the shot clock for Methodist. Ray Hall working to his right. 18 on the shot clock. He still has the basketball. Has a screen by Troy Nell Reese, goes around it. Still working top of the key, 10 on the shot clock. Lots of dribbling here from Hall. Gets it to Iabarino. That's a 3. Off the back iron, no good. Rebounded by Gatling, and he'll bring it up the floor for the Pride. Hawkins picks it up. Now Corbin back to Gatling in the corner. 4-3 off the iron, no good. And Auburn's gets a defensive rebound for Methodist. Poked by Hamilton Hawkins, but he is whistled for the foul.
Very tough angle to see there by the official. Have to give Auburn's the benefit of the doubt as Hawkins is called for his second foul. More often than not, there is contact on that play, the underarm poke, as Mateo Baggio, who we were just speaking about, is checking into the game with 5 minutes left in the second half, replacing Cole Gatling.
$78-60 still to score. Davis will inbound to Ray Hall with a fresh shot clock for the Monarchs. Iabarino, top of the key, guarded closely by Donovan Griffith. Troynell Reese with 18 on the shot clock, now Blake Davis. Davis working to the middle. Here's Auburn's in the lane. Right-handed floater goes, and it's now 80-60.
What a finish by Irving. Auburn's looking like Trajan Langdon, the mid-90s Duke star point guard who, Chris Corbin in his own right, a great move by a point guard in the paint. Two great finishes by guards getting close to the rim.
4.5 to play, 80-62. Monarchs with the lead. .16 on the shot clock. Here's Blake Davis, now Troynell Reese. Reese back to Davis, 10 on the shot clock. Pass down low, Iabarino up with it, puts it in.
Terrific find by Blake Davis.
82-62 with 4 minutes to play. Hawkins driving, had it blocked. Griffith will pick up the pieces, 15 on the shot clock. Deep three, Donovan Griffith off the back iron, no good, rebounded by Iabarino. And here comes Ray Hall. Hall all the way, reverse with the left, he missed it. Rebound tapped into the hands of Blake Davis, and a fresh shot clock here for Methodist with 3:33 to play.
As Davis loses the ball out of bounds, Donovan Griffith furious with Mateo Baggio and Lorenzo Mary. Assuming that shot would go in, not hustling back on defense. It's hard to keep your energy high when you've been down by 20 points for the entire game. Credit to the Monarchs for being so consistent. Credit to the Pride for the most part, not losing their heads, keeping their cool, keeping the energy up, keeping the defensive intensity up. 20-point game with 3.5 minutes to go. The Pride's by far their lowest scoring conference game of the season right now.
Yeah, I think the lowest was the Ferrum game when they scored 66. That would be it.
And that is a tell for this Greensboro Pride team if they are going to win or lose a game. In their conference wins, they're averaging over 90 points per game. In their losses, they're averaging just over 77. Now, when you average 77 points in your losses, 62 is still an astounding defensive performance by these Methodist Monarchs. And Coach Lambert's been sitting across from us this entire game doing a little bit of scouting for tomorrow. Not sure what you can do to stop this Methodist team when they're playing as well as they have been today.
Iabarino with 19 points, Ray Hall with 19 points, Jackson Whitley has 10, and Brian Rouse has 17. Also, Irving Auburn's with 12. That's 5 in double figures for the Monarchs. They lead it here by 20 over the Pride of Greensboro. Griffith on the drive, left hand can't finish, but he was fouled and will go to the line. I believe that will be the 5th foul on Jackson Whitley.
Jackson Whitley with his 5th foul.
So that will take Whitley out of the game as he is fouled out. He finishes with 10 points, only 4 rebounds, 4 blocked shots, and a steal. Whitley, an all-conference player this year on the all-conference honorable mention team. He hails from Greensboro, North Carolina, Western Guilford High School. Griffith at the line here to shoot 2 with 3:24 to play, and the Pride trailing the Monarchs by 20. Only been 2 games all season for Donovan Griffith that he has not scored in double figures or more. Well, can't score in triple figures. That'd be kind of tough. Wilt Chamberlain did it.
I'm trying to remember what is that's a story for another time. Donovan Griffith all season long has been the guy for this Greensboro team, with the exception of those 2 games, at which point Cole Gatling became the guy.
Yep.
Gatling has next year still to build on his performance this year.
And so does Darius Maddox as well for the Pride. And then turning things over to the Monarchs side of things, Blake Davis is a senior, Irving Auburns is a senior, and Will Baguette is a senior. Other than that, the rest of the team is coming back except for those 3.
And for a team that was picked, what a move by Chris Corbin. For a team that was picked at the beginning of the season to finish dead last in the conference.
And a big block on the pass. Here's Corbin again. Had it blocked, and a whistle and a foul will send Corbin to the line to shoot 2. Irving Auburns picks up the foul. A 17-point game with 2:45 to play. Corbin at the stripe for 2.
Just to finish up that thought.
I'm sorry.
It would be. Oh no, you're fine. I think it would be a huge disservice to Coach Smith and this Monarchs team for them to not be picked within the top 3 or 4 in the conference heading into next year. Davion Iabarino, Ray Hall, and Jackson Whitley all season have been the 3 guys. And, throw Brian Rouse in that conversation as well as he checks back into the game.
Yep.
The 4 of them will all be back. We've talked about the tenure of Coach Smith. That means something.
And those are the 4 leading scorers for this team, and they'll all be back. All 4 of them averaging double digits this year. And, I mean, you mentioned Methodist should probably be picked in the top 3 next year. I also believe that the Maryville Scots should also be in that top 3 conversation as they return a lot of players as well. I believe only 1 senior for Coach Lambert as Rouse lays it up and lays it in. 84-67, Methodist on top.
Chris Corbin, fantastic quickness, slow, the hesitation.
He has it on the wing. Driving, drops it down to Mary. Right-handed hook shot goes. And it's 84-69, 2:15 to play. It's a 15-point ball game.
And Griffith there demonstrating exactly why Hamilton Hawkins was called for what could have been a clean play earlier. Most of the time, that reach-around poke move creates contact. Griffith's arm there coming up and getting Blake Davis. Looks like right on the bottom of the chin.
Yeah.
Seems like he's checking for any blood. It looks like he's okay.
.208 to play. Methodist leading by 15, 84-69. Ray Hall with the basketball, now Blake Davis. 20 on the shot clock as we hit the 2-minute mark. Iabarino all the way, knocked away and fouled. That one on Donovan Griffith. That is his 4th personal, and only the team's 5th of the half. The Pride already in the bonus as the Monarchs have committed 8 fouls in the second half.
And I'm sure the Pride are hoping for no further Monarchs calls. At this point, they need 3-point baskets. Going to the line for potentially nothing, potentially 2, is not going to be enough for them.
Iabarino surpasses his season average. He now has 21 points tonight. And you mentioned the 3-point shooting for the Pride. They have only made 3 triples this afternoon. Griffith extra pass, Corbin in the corner. That's a 3. Yes. And now
Chris Corbin playing great down the stretch. And that is what we have been used to seeing from this Pride offense, at least all season, is passing up good shots for great shots. Griffith there had a hand in his face. Could he have made that shot? Absolutely. First team all-conference. But giving the ball to a wide-open Chris Corbin, who had a full second and a half to set his feet, square his shoulders, and then bury the shot, was the smart move.
As you would say, passed up a good shot for a great shot there, as Corbin now joining Griffith for the team leading 14 points apiece. And with 1:45 to play, it's a 14-point ball game. The Pride are going to have to score on about every single possession and try and get steals or foul quickly with no more fouls to give, as the next foul will put the Monarchs in the bonus if the Pride do commit a foul. Deep pass intended for Trenell Reese. He does corral it. Ray Hall has it. And we're going to get a whistle and a timeout. Good job by the Pride defense there to kind of suffocate Hall in that corner near the half-court line and out of bounds. A 30-second timeout called by Ray Hall. We're going to stay right here.
And that pressure, we're used to seeing that full court start early in the first half for the Pride. Again, as we mentioned, in the 2 previous games against the Monarchs, Pride have forced 19 turnovers in each of those games. Only 12 forced turnovers for the Pride today. Relatively clean game overall, actually. Just a combined 23 turnovers. Pride with 11, Monarchs with 12.
And you wouldn't think by looking at the score that the Pride would have less turnovers than the Monarchs, but the Pride have just not been able to shoot as well.
They have missed 39 shots tonight, the Pride have.
Davis to Iabarino, 1:35 to play. Whistle and a foul on Donovan Griffith. That is his 5th.
Methodist shooting a full 10% better from the field than the Pride. That has been the difference tonight. We mentioned
and we've talked a lot as being the broadcast crew for this Pride team for the season. We've talked so much about Donovan Griffith. Tough moment here. Potentially the season ender for the Pride, as Methodist has played phenomenal all afternoon. Donovan Griffith fouling out. And you can see the emotions running high for him right now, taking a moment to himself on the bench as Iabarino continues to score the ball, this time at the free throw line. He has 22 in a game where Iabarino started off absolutely on fire with, I think, 14 or 16 points in the first half alone.
17,
17
points. He really was the difference. He was the difference. As we get down the stretch here, the Pride look like they're going to keep this game within 20 points. That early outburst by Davion Iabarino was the difference in this game. It's hard to come back from an early 20-point deficit. And while, again, credit to the Pride for keeping their heads high, for continuing to hustle and show effort, Methodist has also not taken their foot off the gas. They have been full go from the moment that Jackson Whitley won the tip-off, and Davion Iabarino scored less than 10 seconds into the game on that layup. This Methodist team is a force to be reckoned with through this tournament, and as we already talked about, next season, the rest of the league has to look out.
5 on the shot clock here. Ray Hall, tough shot. The runner, no. Iabarino back up with it, yes, and the foul. 33.5 seconds remain here, and the Pride trail 90-72 to this Monarchs team that is still scoring the ball. And who else but Iabarino?
And this is an astounding fact. In 3 head-to-head matchups this season, Davion Iabarino now has 91 points against these Greensboro Pride guys, and with a chance to add another one, that's over 30 points per game.
Now over 31.
Across a season. That's outstanding. That is outstanding. He had 3 30-point games all season. 2 of them were against the Pride.
Gatling for 3, yes. His first made 3 of the day. He's 1 for 8 from beyond the arc. And Davion Iabarino is now out of the game. He finishes with 26 points and 16 rebounds.
Those are Donovan Griffith-esque numbers against Ferrum.
Yep.
Where he had 27
similar.
and 16.
Gatling for 3 again. That time it's short. Under 10 seconds to go here. And Baguette will dribble it out as the Monarchs coasting to an 18-point victory over the Greensboro College Pride. 93-75 your final. Methodist will play the 3-seed Maryville tomorrow afternoon.
I again just want to take this opportunity to thank the wonderful folks here at Averett. Drew, their fantastic sports information director, wonderful facility, great host town, great host campus, great host gym for this conference tournament. It's been a pleasure being with you here for these first 2 games. It's been a pleasure being with you, Matt, all season. We ask you to please stick around, enjoy these final 2 games of day 1. Eddie Glenn, the voice of the Averett Cougars, will be taking you along a journey through those 2 games. Fantastic season so far for the Monarchs. Looking for a little more. Nothing to hold your head low against or for if you are the Greensboro Pride. It's going to be a fun season next year. USA South is not getting any worse, but things are going to keep getting more and more log-jammed.
And thank you again, Austin, and we look forward to the rest of the USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament. Want to take this time to thank the people at Averett, thank Drew Wilson, the SID here, thank the conference, Mike Christie, Tom Hart, among others of the USA South for allowing us to be a part of this as this is being streamed on the USA South YouTube channel. We invite you to stay connected to the USA South Men's Basketball Conference Tournament as it continues here with the next game between the 4 and 5 seed, the 4-seeded William Peace Pacers and the 5-seeded LaGrange Panthers. This is Matt Romanowski and Austin Scher saying so long, and thank you for joining us today.